If you want to have memorable D&D games, you need to have amazing settings, unique adventures, and incredible tabletop setups. And in my opinion, tabletop setups full of awesome terrain and miniatures is the most important part. So in this video, I am going to be using my Frozen Mighty 4K to 3D print a very interesting D&D adventure. Like always, my Frozen printer produced perfect prints yet again. If you are in the market or interested in 3D printers but don't know where to start, I highly recommend Frozen because their quality is unmatched. Once the prints were removed from their supports, the Frozen wash machine and the Frozen cure machine made post-processing a breeze. Not only am I going to be building a bunch of terrain for this adventure, but I also printed some highly detailed and unique miniatures for this adventure as well. Once everything was printed, I was ready to get to the fun part and build and paint this stuff. All of these printable files are from Nerdforge miniatures. You can find them on my mini factory, link in the description below. They are the creators behind a ton of fantastic and truly unique D&D settings, complete with terrain and highly detailed miniatures, all of which come pre-supported. This month, their theme is Candyland, or more precisely, Terror in Candyland. And as you can see here, they are the makers of all the wonderful files that I just printed. Not only did Nerdforge Miniatures make all of these amazing printable files, but they also have a corresponding D&D adventure guide included in the Candyland download package, so you can truly give your players a unique adventure experience. Now, I am familiar with Nerdforge Miniatures as I have made some builds with their stuff in the past, a carnival and a market, so I am really excited to start building Candyland this time around. So let's get at it. My favorite part of this package was the incredible modular gingerbread house. This thing is highly detailed and it was a ton of fun to snap together. I decided to simply build the one that they showcased in their instructions, which I must admit were awesome and made assembly of this thing super easy. Once it was done, I decided to paint it. My plan here is to go for very simple, full colors to sort of give this thing that whole like Candyland look. I didn't want a lot of like shades and highlights, just simple bold colors. Now I did use my gallery airbrush here to highlight up the gingerbread just to give it a more natural look. And you can see here my watered down white actually ran in the crack, so I had to go and clean that up. But I decided to pick out the candy canes in white, and I used some Deco Art buttercream to do all this like icing sugar all over this build. Continuing with the bold colors, I decided to pick out all the details on the house in bright reds, pinks, and a slew of other colors to just make all these little details in this miniature pop, including these little gummy bears down here. Now I left the roof pretty much primed because it really resembled chocolate, and I thought that was really cool. So you can see here just how fantastic these files actually are. And I was really happy with how this house printed out. In addition to the house, there was a whole ton of accessories like mailboxes, light poles, bench, fence, a bunch of cool stuff. Then they had this really big ice cream cone, and it was filled with a whole bunch of treats. But I did this a little differently, and I did do some speed paints on this thing and used the whole slap chop method to kind of give that cone a little more texture. And the candies, just simple, bold, bright colors. And you can see here, there's something a little sinister about these treats. I must say, these mimics were full of all kinds of character. Just look at them, they're super cool. Running a YouTube channel is a lot of work, but watching the subscriber count grow and chatting with everyone in the comments makes it all worthwhile. We are always making cool stuff here at Facility D20, whether that be miniatures, dioramas, or props. So go ahead and join the facility by smashing that subscribe button and help us get to 20,000 members this year. I've got all these pieces painted up, and I gotta say, it was a lot of fun to use these bright colors. Usually I'm doing some really grim dark stuff, so this was a nice change of pace. Now, ever since I first saw this terrain, I had this idea in my mind that I want to put it all on a giant lollipop. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to make a giant lollipop somehow to mount all this stuff on. So yeah, let's get at it. So I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to do this, but a quick trip to the dollar store and I found a bunch of stuff here that I figured I could really make work for this. All I had to do was take 2 serving trays and pretty much fit a broomstick in there. And I got kind of lucky because I found a really cool broomstick at the dollar store that kind of matched this whole aesthetic of what I was going for. Now when my little man found out I was making a giant lollipop, he had to come out and help me. It's always really cool to get my kids involved in these projects. Once I had this stick fitted in place, my idea here was to glue it together. Now I used some liquid nails, but if I had my time back, I probably would have used PL Premium because it's just a better adhesive. I filled it up full of spray foam, and I did put a weight on this and let it sit overnight so it wouldn't expand apart. Then I went ahead and painted it all with some Rust-Oleum white. Now, all these names flying across the screen are members of my Patreon. Even if you were just a member for like 2 days, your name goes on the list. You guys rock, and I really appreciate your support. It's super motivating. After some simple masking tape and some red paint, I pretty much had what looked like a lollipop. So I hit it with some gloss clear, but I had this really weird reaction to the white in some spaces, and it kind of ruined the look that I was going for. The giant lollipop is finished. It's time to get everything here mounted on this thing and see what it's going to look like when you serve it up to the players. First thing I did was build a fence. Added the accessories, that ice cream cone, all the candies that are a little more than meets the eye, and the miniatures. These actually came out really nice. I hid the gigantic robot Candyland murder machine in the back. Now for display purposes, I did go ahead and glue everything here so I can, pick it up and take a nice thumbnail of it. And I got to say that this thing turned out really cool, and it would also make a great cosplay prop. There's some more awesome videos on my channel. I got them linked right here, and I'll catch you on the next one.